Hey people, it's your boy MR.LARTZ, the Ghanaian shitter, you know the vibes, and you're now listening to Taking Notes with MR.LARTZ. Here we discover the fears and the risks people face while following their passions. My people, regardless, we'll move. Hey guys, it's me again, your boy MR.LARTZ, aka the Ghanaian shitter, you know the vibes. Today I'm here with the one and only Mayday, aka Super Midz. My guy, do you want to introduce yourself real quick, tell the people who you are?
This is quick. DJ Midz, Super Midz, Fire Midz, all the damn thing. I mean, I do what it says on the tin.
I hear that.
Simple
They know
as.
the vibes already.
Yeah, they know the vibes.
Alright, quick, let's get in. Alright, Midz, I think the first time I met you was through, you know, my executive producer himself, Mr. Emmanuel Ajay, 360. You know the vibes. But that was the first time I think I met you and I saw you DJ. I think it was at his 18th.
Yeah, the barbecue.
Yeah, the barbecue thing. I hear you DJing and I was like, raw. This guy is wavy. Like, the vibe was mad. The whole place, everyone was lit. You know, all your people, guys, you guys were lit. At the squad, everything was lit. So in my house, I was like, wow, this guy is lit. And that was like my first impression of you. Obviously, further on, I just saw you doing all these amazing stuff, which we're going to get into. But first and foremost, when did you realize, yeah, DJ, this is my thing? When did you fall in love with this DJ thing?
So it started quite young, really. So obviously, I've got DJs in my family. My uncle and my dad are both DJs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So just being around DJs, but really and truly, it started in year 8. So I don't know if you went to one of these, but in Club Nollywood, Club Nollywood, they had the early bird raves, innit? £1 raves, 4 till 10. It's actually funny because right now, lockdown.
Yeah, for 10 it's
4
not.
till 10, yeah, that's literally the parties I'm having.
Yeah, we love you about 4 to 10. Nah, that's mad.
We're literally doing 4 till 10 parties right now, so you know, them lot back there were some sort of pioneers because started the trend. But yeah, so 4 to 10 parties, £1 raves or whatever, and used to attend those quite a lot.
Wow.
And at first I was enjoying myself, and then it was one period my cousins came over from Nigeria for a summer holiday, and I took them over. So yeah, that particular summer holiday, year 8, I took my cousin to the rave, and the DJ that was playing at the time, like, it just wasn't making sense. Like, me and my cousin were in the rave trying to enjoy ourselves. The song gonna change too quickly, or the mix was crap, or it's just like, what's going on? Like, and then I thought, wait, nah, this can't be it. So I went to another rave, and a similar thing happened. So from there I just decided, really and truly, if I want to enjoy myself at a party, I'm gonna have to be the one that's DJing for myself, because I know what I want. Kind of thing. I know how I enjoy myself, and I know people will be able to enjoy themselves with me. So yeah, that's basically when inside year 8 when I realized it's only me that can turn the party up.
That's crazy. So man saw a problem and said, you know what, I will be the solution of this problem.
I
respect it. So obviously you've had this thing, you want to be the solution to this problem. When would you say, like, how did it start? Did you start like playing music for the people closest to you? Did you start like, or did you just go straight in?
So I started making mixes for myself on my laptop. Obviously back then, year 8, not rich at all, so no money for equipment and that. So just downloaded different apps, Virtual DJ, Red Mix. It was just a bunch of apps back in the day, just using different things. Done that all the way through my secondary school year. Then got to college. And then the summer of college hit. The first year of college, I hadn't started DJing yet. I was just putting out stuff on SoundCloud and stuff and whatever. And then summer of college, I got my first gig.
Oh, wow.
And then obviously also summer, that particular summer, so it was the 2015 summer, it was really hot. And a lot of people were doing barbecues. So what I would tell people is that, do you know what? Don't worry, let me DJ for your thing, innit? Solve that problem. You just have to worry about getting food and whatever. So literally everyone that was in my college was basically using me for their
events.
Yeah, and then obviously outside of college, they will have their own friends. So their friends will see it, they'll enjoy, and then when they want to do something. So it all started with a word of mouth kind of thing. Obviously social media was there, but it wasn't really prominent as it was now. It was more of a word of mouth, how I got out and basically saw another solution. Well, I saw another problem, I wanted to be the solution. People want barbecues, need a DJ. I put some money together to buy myself some decks. Got my uncle to borrow me some speakers, and kicked it off from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're doing all these events. You're basically investing in yourself, right?
Basically,
investing
yeah.
in your brand and things like that. So first gig, how do you now go from, okay, yeah, this is me, then my friend that's doing the gigs for me, to nah, I'm a DJ now. Like,
Yeah.
it's time to get paid for this thing. Like, how did that switch like come into place? And how was that, to be honest?
It was most of my friends really. So most of my friends started addressing me as Super Midz kind of thing. It was no longer midday around other people in it. So to break the friend and fan barrier, because what a lot of early DJs struggle with is a lot of us always have friends and not enough fans. And obviously everyone sees being called as a fan as a negative thing, but it's not kind of thing. It's able to distinguish the kind of support you get as a friend. You support your friend in his business 100%, but you may not be invested as much because it's not something that you may not be interested in or whatever. But as a fan, you're interested in that 100%. That's what you want to see from that person only kind of thing. So whatever that person does, if it's with what you want, they'll do that. So as I started to meet more people, a lot more people started meeting me as Super Midz and became more invested in my craft. And so the demand for me started to go up. So obviously there was rave promoters and raves organizers who were booking the statutory DJ lineup. You had your P Montana, Neptizzle, Dukes, etc. But then as my demand started increasing, rave organizers started hearing my name. So I was able to fit in the same lineup as those, maybe on a warm-up set or old school Afro set to get into there. And then once I got myself into the door, show what I can do, just let the talent speak for yourself from there.
Wow. I want to pull it back a bit, holding on to some of the things you're giving me right now. I was even going to bring up how the name came about. I've seen, obviously, that I thought you were a fan of Superman.
Yeah.
So I thought that was it, Super Midz, because you like Superman.
Yes.
So I thought, oh, that's where it came from.
Yeah, I went through a phase in my... So I was Super Midz, the person, before I was Super Midz, the DJ from ages. I started in, 10, I believe. So obviously Tennyson's, we all had the music studio on the top floor, innit? So obviously everyone went there. Once upon a time I wanted to be a rapper.
Wow.
So I had to think of a name.
I know hella you man that went to that you were trying to rap into or actually rappers.
Yeah, but
no, I can't lie though. Hella talents from that school though. I'll give you guys that.
Literally, Tennyson's is really blessed. Something in the water there, man. Just bring out the best of people in the negative way anyway. But I digress. So yeah, basically, I went for a phase where I had a Superman snapback. I had like 3 Superman tops. I had a Superman belt. I had a Superman but the craziest thing is, he wasn't my favorite superhero, but I just liked the merchandise. That's literally what it was. Yeah. So literally in the studio one day, everyone's freestyling, spitting bars. I need a name to call myself. And obviously at that time, the man that were on road, they had their younger this or tiny that or whatever.
Super Midz.
But man wasn't on road, did it? So man wasn't, no one's younger, man wasn't, no one's tiny, no one's little or whatever. So I just had to think of something quick. Boom, Super Midz. Easy.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Obviously, would you say, right, that the fact that your uncle and your dad were DJs, would you say that made it easier for you to own this craft? Because obviously, you know, come from an African background, you know, our parents, you know, you gotta be this, you gotta be that, you have to be this. So would you say that was quite a bit easier for you because your uncle and your dad were actual DJs?
Definitely. So it was a lot easier in the sense where it's something my mum's seen. So when I'm doing it, it's not alien to her. It's not like, go and pick the book up. It's none of that kind of thing. It's something that she's seen can bear fruit and work kind of thing. But at the same time, obviously, I still had to teach myself. Because see, I don't live with my dad. So even though my dad's a DJ, he wasn't able to teach me how to DJ. My uncle lives in East. I obviously live in South. And as a young kid, East to South is quite far. So didn't have the time to go over to his. So I still had to teach myself. But in getting the freedom to be able to do that and getting the freedom to, on a school weekend, college weekend, be out till 2 a.m, my mum not saying nothing, and having that understanding definitely played an easier part in that.
Nah, that's wild because obviously just like mentioned that being out late nights and everything there. I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
parents
yeah.
are really not on that
Exactly,
sort of
exactly.
vein. All right, cool. One of the biggest things, obviously, you've mentioned you started doing events, club promoters, getting to know your name. How would you say, right, before we move on to my biggest question, how would you say right now, from when we started, obviously we all know because we know we did parties here and there, how would you say things have changed? You know, let's put COVID aside now. Let's forget about COVID for a minute. But how would you say that whole scene has changed when it comes to events, parties? Would you say it's developed more? Or would you say back then, like, you know, I feel like back then there were more parties than there are these days.
No,
In terms
so
of, you know,
there's
underground parties anyway.
there was a lot more quality parties back then,
Okay.
but the market is definitely saturated now than it was back then. Back then, there wasn't as many DJs, and so and a lot of the DJs that were around were DJs of quality, so it was a lot harder to break into the scene, and because there weren't a lot of raves as well, there was only a specific type of rave. So the older lot, they would know about a bar fest, they would know about a disturbing cov, they would know about, some may know about an out chair. But I feel like that came a lot later than the older lots. They'll know about a champagne campaign, stuff like that. And 9 times out of 10, at least 3 of the 5 DJs are going to be the same on every lineup. And those organizers were the set organizers. Like if someone else random was doing a rave, people weren't going there. But then as time went on, opportunities started to arise where anyone and everyone could put on a rave. And so to increase market profit, what organizer would do would be, who can we get for the cheapest but still do some sort of job? So more DJs started to arise because more vacancies were there, and the quality started to diminish because you didn't have to be that good to get there. I just need to know you and you're doing the rave, so put me on the lineup kind of thing. So yeah, it's definitely a lot more saturated and a lot less quality now than there was then. But what I will say is, if the rave is done right now, it's a lot better than when the rave, if it was done right back then, kind of thing. It's just that they had more frequency back then of a good rave than now, because it's no longer about a good time. It's all a business.
Yeah, that makes sense. So obviously you've done college now. If you don't mind sharing, did you go to uni?
Yeah.
So at your time at uni, obviously uni was also filled with raves and whatnot. One of the biggest things also in your career has been, obviously, you are the official DJ for the man himself, Afro B.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Like, do you mind talking a bit about that? Like, how that whole thing came about?
So, going into college, like I said, I was a word of mouth DJ. Social media wasn't really an impact back then. So, my reach was, I go to the show and do the show. Everyone that's there needs to enjoy me, to want me to come there back, and spread apart and whatever. So, going into uni, I have one of my friends from church. He saw my potential, whatever, and he was already in uni. So he was running a rave organization in Northampton. So he spoke to his partners and said, "Right, like, I've got one of my young G's going up to uni. We might as well sign him under us, make him our DJ for our Ent group or whatever, and like build him up, kind of thing." So basically, he introduced me to one of his business partners, and his business partner eventually became my manager. And it so happened that my manager was one of Afro's good friends. So at the time when Afro was making a transition from DJ to artist, just a casual conversation amongst him and his boys where, bro, man's gonna need a DJ now that I'm an artist, kind of thing. And my manager was there, I was like, I've got a DJ, you can use him, kind of thing. And obviously at that time, I was already making some noise for myself. So I had the Insanity mix out. I had my pre-party series out. I had my warm up to winter series out. So my work was there to be seen if you wanted to go see it, kind of thing. And my name was ringing across girls, certain places. Because I went uni in Kent, but I was still able to make some noise in the Midlands. So I had a buzz around me. You could see the potential. And Afro said, "Yeah, no, it makes sense." Approached me, so I had to speak about it and whatever. And it's quite funny actually, because Afro was actually one of the first to give me a gig. This was before he knew me. So yeah, literally, back when he was a DJ, he ran an event called Afro Beats with Afro B in Thomas a Beckett.
Oh man.
Yeah, Old Kent Road before that closed down. And word of mouth again. So I had a friend who knew Afro B.
Wow.
So
You gotta know, see?
yeah, exactly.
Networking. You gotta know a friend that knows a friend. A friend.
So
Guys, networking.
my friend introduced me to his friend, so we became friends. And then I saw that friend speaking to Afro B, so I asked her to introduce me to Afro B. Had a quick chat with Afro B. I said, bro, like, let me do warm up for your night. He just said, cool, and yeah, just gave me an opportunity to DJ.
Wow.
And that was even before he knew me.
That's
kind of thing.
Does he remember this story?
I don't know, you know. He probably does. Oh yeah, maybe not.
You never brought it up as well. That's
mad. I never brought it up, but
That's
it's just one of those things. And then obviously fast forward, well, I think about a year and a half from that introduction, I'm his official DJ.
That's
kind
wild.
of thing. So yeah, it's just funny how life works.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's been one of the biggest things I would say to look at in your career in terms of getting to do that.
100%.
But how would you say how has it been to juggle that? Because obviously now, like, bro, he's doing big things in his own right.
Big things, yeah.
So you guys obviously won some of the, I think last year actually. I'd come on Insta and today you are here. Tomorrow you're there. Next day I see you in the office. I'm like, wait a minute. This is guy, what is he doing? Does he actually work? Are you still in the 9 to 5?
Yeah.
So Ro, how are you able to juggle that and keep this thing also going? Like,
so you just gotta prioritize booking. So so basically what I did was, so year before last, I took a gap year. So I graduated from uni 2018, secured a job, postponed my start date to the following year, and used it as a gap year. So in that year, so basically, even go before that, uni times, obviously, so I've been made Afro's official DJ in first year, but he's already started touring, but he never brought me on tour.
okay.
What he always used to tell me was, focus on your uni, get your degree, we'll tour after that. And obviously, I used to think...
How did you feel about that?
I used to think, bruv, like, bro, man's calm, like, just let me talk, bro.
Was good.
Yeah, but like, I appreciate the concern,
Yeah,
like, but bro, just let me talk, bro. Like, fam, come on, man. I've seen all these other lot that's touring and that, and obviously I've got him on Snap, see him on Snap, and I'm seeing him in these places. I'm like, but I'm supposed to be there, like, I'm supposed to be there. So, but obviously I understood it, and I understand, and I'm glad that he took that approach, because the year, so fast forwarding, graduated in 2018, started flying out straight after. So literally finished my exams May, June, we were out of here, straight tour.
What a way to
So
start.
for the whole year, from June till September 2019, touring. And mate, it's a lot. And if I was touring during uni, would have had head loss. Would have had so much head loss. So it's a good thing. So yeah, literally, I took the year out, 2018 to 2019, and done every single booking that I could. I didn't turn down anything. Like,
Wow.
to the point where February 2019, I was ill because my body was shattered. I've never been ill like that before. Like, it was nuts.
You didn't take time for yourself?
Yeah, literally,
That's wild.
literally every other day we was out. If it was in London or in somewhere else in England or in a different country or going from one country to the next country, literally, like, I done everything. So at least, but I needed to do that to get out of my system, so that now that when I started the 9 to 5 in 2019, I'm not itching for that experience. I've already experienced it. So now it's more about prioritizing what bookings make sense and which ones I can sacrifice a little sleep here to rush into work the next day, or sacrifice a holiday day, take the holiday, well, 2 days really, and then come back to work the next day or whatever. So that's literally how I'm juggling it, just prioritizing what bookings work for me, what bookings will benefit me. So basically, will it benefit me a lot, or have I done something similar? If I've done something similar and I can't afford to really miss a day of work or take that holiday, I'm going to skip it. But if it's going to benefit me, then I'm going to work a way around it to either make it into work the next day, or I'm going to have to take the day off.
Fair enough. Do you think you are able, if you wanted to, just quit your job and just do DJing full time?
100%. But obviously, in this life, you gotta be rich.
Exactly. every stream, right?
Exactly.
That's true.
Exactly. So if I could sing, well, I'd even become an artist. if I had bars, I'd do
You
up the
start
bars.
rapping.
Bro,
Super Midz.
literally be the Superman. Literally do everything to have every form of stream of income to
Fair
be
enough.
rich, literally.
No, I like that. That's crazy because obviously I started to think about that and reason. Obviously, that's why this whole, I guess, podcast that even started for me. It's just sitting there just to think, okay, cool, what are my passions and what sort of sacrifice am I willing to take in order to pursue my passions? But it's crazy to hear that even though you have a passion, there's a way to, obviously, I don't know if your job is also like a side passion or something you like to do or whatever. But with some people, it's like, right, it doesn't matter whether you enjoy it or not, just stick to it. And they just allow their passions to die. I think it's crazy to hear what you said in terms of not itching. What advice, I guess, would you give somebody who's thinking, oh, you know what, I'm very passionate about something, but I don't know if I'm willing to, like my passions right now, I don't think I'm paying. So what would you say to them? Would you say like take time out to pursue that passion, or
Well, right now, because we're in
let's forget COVID. Outside of COVID.
Alright, cool. So outside of COVID.
Yeah, if there was no COVID.
So this time last year, what I would have said to somebody who has a passion, I'd say 100% go for it. But obviously, look at it from a sustainability point of view. So if you can go a few months where you're pursuing that passion and it's not necessarily making a profit for you at this point in time, if you can see yourself in the not too distant future eventually reaping what you've sowed, then go ahead. Or if you can balance a 9 to 5 and get some sort of steady income and still do your passion, definitely do it. Never leave your passion aside, because at the end of the day, we should 100% take lessons from our generations. And I can't count how many uncles and aunties I've seen dread going to work or having to work, but they need to work because they need to feed for their children or whatever, and they're not happy one bit. And literally, as nice as money is, like sacrificing your happiness, sacrificing your joy, will never make you be able to spend that money well anyway. So we've got to be reasonable in the sense where we need something to keep us afloat, but your passions and your joy should never be a sacrifice, an ultimate sacrifice just for the money or whatever. There's always, well, COVID aside, there's so many avenues you can do things to just get a little bit of change, so that, cool, I've got this amount of money, the next 2 months I can grind this, and then I've got to go back to the drawing board, so that next 3 months now I can grind this. And the more you grind, the more passion you put in, the more you get yourself out there, the more opportunities will arise before you know it. And another thing is also realizing your age. A lot of us want the quick thing now, age of 22, 23, 24. People are upset they're not married age of 25. Like, got the whole, your whole life. You got your whole life ahead of you. Like, literally, there's loads of cliches people can use. This person didn't do this until they're 40. As many times as you heard it, it's facts of the matter kind of thing. Like, life isn't a rush. Obviously, tomorrow's not promised to no one. 100%. But at the same time, don't dive down that hill, man. Take time. Take time.
Obviously, one thing we can run from, obviously we kind of hinted on it, which is COVID. For you personally, as a DJ, obviously I'm a host and a presenter. I know how that hit us. But as a DJ, obviously I've seen some of the things you've done. Obviously, even speak to me about that. One of the things I saw that was wavy is being connected to the whole No Signal crew. That was something you were doing. As a DJ, like when COVID hit, first of all, what went through your mind? What are some of the things you've been doing and are doing? Because obviously we're going into another lockdown. So what are some of the things you've been doing and still doing to keep yourself going during the lockdown?
So beginning of lockdown was sweet in the sense where clubs and parties were still going.
I remember.
But my 9 to 5 had shut down because my boss caught corona. So
the whole place.
It was all work from home. And obviously I'm not based in London. I'm based outside of London. So because we got sent home, I came back to London. So I was able to go to do work from home 9 to 5, log off, and I'm off to the club to do. But then obviously as the club started to close and that, and then more restrictions, 10k fine for this party or no more gatherings of this number.
Oh boy.
Bookings were just cancelling left, right and centre. And obviously having a 9 to 5, a steady income, but you see your tax. And what DJing would help me do was not feel the effect of tax. Bro. No more
feeling your
DJing.
broom.
No more DJing. I'm just seeing how that tax is just eating a man alive. Like it's crazy.
Because that's what, legit what it was. Like, you could know, okay, cool, even they're taking this out. If I've done a gig, you know, I'm charging this. So that goes into this. Because you don't pay taxes for those gigs. It's true. That's mad.
Tax is eating my salary, dog. Crazy. So yeah, that's one of the shocks that got me. But funny enough, even though I'm a DJ, I'm an introvert. So I like this time being at home, not having to go out, kind of thing. So even when people were asking me for these illegal parties, I wasn't bothered in the sense where I'm not risking it, man. And plus, I've got high risk people at home as well, so I couldn't really be going out like that. When the lockdown really got locked down, my bookings, like even weddings, I had to say, sorry, I've got high risk people at home, can't really risk anything. So thank God nothing's happened, no one's been infected or whatever. So yeah, it's just, I feel like we're going to be like this till 2022, I'll be honest.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's mad. It's looking that way, which is crazy. And obviously, I'm coming on top of some of the things you were doing. Obviously, I know you were DJing from home.
Yeah. So we had these.
You had us, you know, you kept us entertaining. So I caught up with some of the things you were doing.
Large Up to No Signal, they just like how I did, they found a problem in the market and provided a solution, got me on board with that. So yeah, they gave me a show. First started off Thursdays 5 to 7, and then the more people we got, moved it to 7 to 9. Now we've got it on Friday nights 9 to 11. So yeah, just keeping people entertained. I did a few Insta lives here and there. One thing I didn't do was make mixes, which I don't know, because of the content that we were giving live. I felt like there wasn't a need to give like. Come find me live. Don't worry about my SoundCloud for now. Like, join the live. So, I did a challenge, did a flip the beat challenge. Set a couple DJs to do that was interested as well. Get people involved. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Yeah.
So, fair enough. I think, just to come to a close a bit. One of the things I've always been fascinated about, obviously you've been lucky in terms of your networks, it's got you see some places. But obviously, how does it work? Because I know some DJs as well that, are DJs for certain artists, right? And for some of them, I know some of them where it's like, they've just been kind of dropped. Or if the artist signs like the artists have gone on to sign big contracts, it's like, where does that leave the DJ? Because in my head, I'm not going to lie, I always think the artist and the DJ go, this is it. This is my guy. What I say, this is my guy. But sometimes I've seen artists that have just gone, I want to go sign this contract. Sorry, bro.
It's all a business at the end of the day. So it depends. So first of all, the artist and manager relationship is key, and also how much of a say that person, that particular artist has. So Afro's even had this conversation with me where it wouldn't make sense to him for him to find another DJ when the chemistry we've built, the stuff that we've done already is fine. It will only be a case of where if I personally can't do it, if everything is fine, there's no point in messing it up. But then obviously if a said artist has a DJ but their manager feels like they can get a better DJ and that causes a problem, and if that is left to the artist. If the artist wants to listen to what the manager says, then the DJ is left out or whatever. So yeah, it depends on individual relationships and whatever. So yeah, that's basically what it is. You just gotta have that relationship, that connection with your artist to understand what his vision for you is as well. Because even as an artist, that artist is a brand. So he's not just looking out for himself. He's not just representing himself. He's representing other people. He's representing his manager, his label, his DJ. The same way me as a DJ, I'm representing my artist. So yeah, it's up to him up to the artist initially, how he goes about dealing with the DJ. But yeah, it doesn't always work out for my fellow brothers. But
I hear that.
We keep moving.
I hear that, bro. Honestly, it's been such a pleasure to have you on board.
Oh,
just to
appreciate
hear
it,
your views, man. You've given me so much germs, bro. And even it's interesting to hear some of the background story of how things came across. My bro, keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate
Hopefully, I know you're saying might go to 2022, but Charlie, I can't lie to you. Yeah. I don't know how I'm gonna do this one.
Everyone needs to find
Bro, we need to. I'm not gonna lie, yeah. We need to be out there, bro. I'm going through my memories, and I'm like, dog. I need to be out there. I need to be out there.
This time last year, we were at the Burna Boy concert.
Yeah, we were. We were at the Burna. I did see you out there as well. Shit. Bro, that was a lit one, you know.
Very, very lit.
Oh, bro, I remember the whole squad. Yeah, true that. See, we need to be out there. But anyway, my guy, thank you so much for joining me, man. It's been a pleasure. Again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to put them, comment down below and let us know. And I'll pass them also to Super Midz as well. We'll put all media social medias there, how you can find him, everything like that. Again, I've been your guy, MR.LARTZ, aka the Ghanaian Shitter. You know the vibes. Peace. Wow, what an episode. Well, I hope you had a good time. I hope, you took some good notes too. And remember, don't be greedy. Share this with your family, your friends, your neighbors, and even your ancestors. Stay tuned for more Taking Notes with MR.LARTZ. And remember, one more thing. We move with God.